ABC's parent company, Disney, is set to acquire 21st Century Fox for $52.4 billion. Plus, in an ABC exclusive, Omarosa Manigault Newman says that she, quote, seen things that made me uncomfortable.
We have allowed judges and justices to rule over our Constitution, and we have become slaves to their tyranny.
Republican Roy Moore released a video following Alabama's U.S. Senate election. In it, he says he will not concede. More on that story on the ABC Columbia mobile app. And twin NBA stars Marcus and Markieff Morris spent thousands to pay off customers' layaway orders. From Maine and Gervais, I'm Kimberlei Davis. I hope that you're well. Here are your trending headlines for Thursday, December 14th. We begin with that breaking news, the blockbuster Disney deal, the parent company of ABC buying many of the assets of 21st Century Fox, creating an entertainment giant. The deal valued at $60 billion. ABC's chief business and economics correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, is here with details.
This morning, a game-changing deal in the entertainment industry. The Walt Disney Company, which owns ABC News and is home to family-friendly hits like Frozen,
Let it go, let it go.
Pirates of the Caribbean,
There's a witch and a pirate in my shop!
Well, it's your lucky day.
and Coco,
I'm turning into a skeleton.
What?
Cue the music.
acquiring 21st Century Fox's movie and TV empire, which includes edgier assets like FX, Nat Geo, and a number of top-rated comic book franchises. For Star Wars lovers, the deal means bringing all the episodes under one roof. Superhero fans can look forward to potential reunions, like Fox's X-Men and the Fantastic Four, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It also gives Disney a majority stake in popular streaming service Hulu, and will add shows like The Simpsons and classic films like The Sound of Music to Disney's library. Just as the company lays the groundwork to launch its own streaming platform in 2019 and pull content from Netflix. The mastermind behind the union, Disney CEO Bob Iger, who since taking over in 2005 has expanded the company's theme parks, opening Shanghai Disney Resort, and acquired popular creators like Pixar, Lucasfilm, and Marvel. While there's been recent speculation of Iger running for president, it looks like for now he'll have his hands full with this new entertainment juggernaut.
Now to that ABC News exclusive, Omarosa Manigault Newman, the Apprentice star who came to Washington with President Trump, is leaving the White House, pushed out by Chief of Staff John Kelly. She spoke live with Michael Strahan this morning on GMA. But first, this report from senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega.
President Trump offering his goodbye in the form of a tweet, saying, "Thank you, Omarosa, for your service. I wish you continued success." A stark contrast from the last time they bid farewell.
Omarosa has to go. You're fired.
In fact, Omarosa Manigault Newman was fired 3 times from The Apprentice, and this morning she is now out of her job at the White House. The official line, she resigned to pursue other opportunities. But multiple sources tell ABC News Manigault Newman was fired and escorted off the White House grounds. From day one, she was a loyal defender.
Every critic, every detractor will have to bow down to President Trump.
The reality TV star everyone loved to hate, bringing her fire to the campaign.
Excuse me, I'm in the middle of an interview. Seriously, you're really loud. Thank you.
And then to the West Wing, as one of the most high-profile African-American staffers in the administration.
There are people who stop talking to me.
So trusted she could walk into the Oval Office whenever she wanted. That is, until Chief of Staff John Kelly took over and cracked down. They clashed, and sources tell ABC Manigault Newman openly feuded with other aides too. There was that scene at a journalism convention last summer.
If you don't want to be here, don't be here.
And her lavish wedding. Sources say Manigault Newman even showed up to the White House wearing her dress, a party van full of guests with her, for an unannounced photo shoot. But as for what she did every day as Director of Communications for the Office of Public Liaison, Many staffers say it is a complete mystery.
Omarosa is here with me now, and thank you for joining me.
I'm so glad to be here.
Really appreciate it. And a lot of speculation about you leaving the White House, so let's get straight to it. What happened?
I resigned, and I didn't do that in the residence as being reported. John Kelly and I sat down in the Situation Room, which is a very secure, very quiet room in the White House, and we had a very candid conversation. And I wanted to make the 1-year mark. That was one of the goals that I set out to, and then get back to my life.
So you resigned, you weren't fired as being reported.
And you know, I like to hear all of these interesting tales, but I have to tell you that they're 100% false. And one of the things that I'd ask of those people who are making those assertions, since they assert that I did it so publicly, is where are the pictures or videos? If I had confronted John Kelly, who is a very formidable person, it would garner enough attention for anyone in the room to at least take a picture or a video or something. The assertion that I would do that in front of 600 guests at a Christmas party, and no one has reported that except for one individual who has a personal vendetta against me. And so I have to tell you, completely false, unverified reporting. And John Kelly and I had a very straightforward discussion about concerns that I had, issues that I raised, and as a result, I resigned, and it will be taking place January the 20th when I leave this very interesting administration.
So you're saying that all these reports are coming from one person, but you
one
speak
person? No, let's be clear. Only one person.
Only one person.
No one else has reported what she's reporting, and this is the one person who has attacked me for the last year. And so you know that this is personal.
And you're speaking of John Kelly. What is your relationship like with him? What was your relationship like with him?
John Kelly was the chief of staff, and as an assistant to the president, there's about 30 of us. We all report to the chief of staff. And when he came in, it was during a lot of turmoil. And I stand out. I'm the only African-American woman who sits at the table with those 30 assistants to the president. And we all had to adjust to his very different militaristic style. But I had a very clear outline, defined role for what I did. And every captain, every coach gets an opportunity to use a sports analogy to choose their team. Donald Trump chose me for his team. I'm not certain, as John Kelly was starting to develop his team, that that's someone that he wanted me to be on his team.
Well, part of one thing you have, because of your relationship with the president, they say you're able to walk in. They say you're able to just walk into the Oval Office. When John Kelly comes in, he says no more of that. Did that happen? Did he restrict your access?
No, first of all, he brought order, much needed order to the West Wing. Absolutely. If the president called us and wanted to talk to us, then we went to talk with him. I went into the Oval to talk with the president anytime.
But you had to be called in, or were you able to go on your own?
The president, as you know, reads a lot of news. He watches a lot of news. If he had a question about something that he saw and he wanted information, he would call us. If I had to ask him something, I was very respectful of the process. Certainly, I had more access than most, and people had problems with that. People had problems with my 14-year relationship with this president. But I've always been loyal to him, straightforward, and I've provided him with the support that he's needed throughout this year in the White House.
Twin NBA stars Marcus and Markieff Morris paid off the layaway orders of customers at a Walmart in their hometown of Philadelphia. Customers waiting for the final day for layaways at the store on Adams Avenue learned in line the Morris twins spent $6 grand towards their Christmas gifts. Their basketball schedules did not permit them to deliver the gifts in person, but they sent their elves, led by their mom, Thomasine Morris.
Awesome to be able to give people anything. Just thinking of being a single parent and trying to figure out how you want to pay for Christmas. You either pay for one way or the other. And then thinking about people that have a lot of kids.
The twins have played in the NBA for the past 6 years. Marcus plays for the Boston Celtics and Markieff for the Washington Wizards. I'm Kimberlei Davis. Be kind to each other. I hope that you have a great Thursday, and thanks for watching.